I didn't tell anyone about the door until after my father died. Not friends, not therapists, not even the police. Because growing up, we were taught something very carefully. Some things don't need explanations. They survive on obedience. In our house, there was one rule that mattered more than all the others. Never open the door at the end of the hallway. Not don't go near it. Not ask before opening it. Just never. If we asked why, my parents didn't answer. They looked at each other. And that silence felt rehearsed, practiced. If we ever heard anything behind it, we were told to keep walking, keep our eyes forward, and act like nothing was there. That was the rule. Everything else about our family looked normal. 2 parents, 2 kids, a quiet neighborhood where people waved but didn't talk much. The house wasn't old or creepy, no flickering lights, no cold drafts, no strange smells, just beige walls, clean floors, and a narrow hallway we crossed every single day. At the end of it, a plain wooden door, no lock, no warning sign, and somehow, everyone knew it mattered. When I was 7, curiosity finally won. I remember kneeling down, pressing my ear against the door. I expected whispers, or crying, or maybe nothing at all. Instead, I heard breathing, not heavy, not panicked, controlled, slow, like someone was standing inches away, breathing like they knew I was listening. My father pulled me away so hard my head hit the wall. He didn't shout. That scared me more. He leaned down and whispered, "If you ever hear anything, it's not meant for you." That night, my parents argued in low voices, and at exactly 2:12 a.m., something knocked. Once, slow, with knuckles. The wood trembled under it, from inside the door. As I grew older, things stopped adding up. Groceries never lasted as long as they should have. Certain foods vanished faster. Soft foods, easy-to-chew foods. Anything that didn't need chewing. The hallway was repainted every year, not because the paint peeled, but because the door handle wore down, like it was being held too long, gripped, used. My mother cleaned that hallway obsessively, more than the kitchen, more than the bathrooms. Sometimes I'd catch her standing there, frozen, listening, like she was waiting for something to stop or start. One afternoon, our neighbor Mrs. Klein pulled me aside. She'd lived next door longer than we had. She asked very carefully, "Is everything all right in your house?" I said yes. She nodded, but didn't look convinced. She told me she sometimes heard movement at night. Not screaming, not crying, walking back and forth, no shoes, bare feet on wood make a different sound. She was sure, at the same hour, every night. She said she thought my parents were insomniacs. I didn't correct her. Years later, my younger brother finally told me the truth. He said when he was 10, he saw our father open the door. Just once. Inside wasn't a bedroom. It wasn't even a room anymore. The walls were padded, the windows sealed, the light harsh and white. Someone was sitting on the floor. Not chained, not restrained, just watching. My brother said her nails were bitten down to the skin, and she barely blinked. She smiled and whispered his name, like she'd been practicing it. When my father died, I moved back home to help my mother. The house felt wrong without him. Not emptier, unbalanced, like something essential was missing. The first night I woke up to footsteps in the hallway, slow, measured, careful. Then my mother whispered from her bedroom, "Please, don't start again." She wasn't talking to me. A week later, a neighbor called the police. Noise complaint. The officers walked through the house, polite, professional, They stopped at the hallway. One of them asked what was behind the door. My mother said, "Storage." The officer nodded, but hesitated. He said the house's old permits showed an extra bedroom. He asked why it wasn't listed anymore. My mother said renovations. He didn't push. They rarely do. They wrote it down, gave a polite warning, and walked out like it wasn't their problem. That night, my mother finally told me everything. I had an older sister, born years before me. At first, doctors said she needed extra care. Then they stopped using hopeful words. My parents refused to institutionalize her. They believed love would be enough. It wasn't. She didn't hurt people physically. She learned fear. She watched reactions, studied discomfort, learned exactly how to make people look away. When she stopped aging mentally, my parents stopped correcting her. Then they stopped visiting. Then they stopped opening the door. After my mother passed, I found the paperwork. The house was left to me. But there was an addendum, a legal note. The room at the end of the hallway was not listed. It didn't exist on paper. No inspections, no permits. Like it was never meant to be acknowledged. That night, the door handle moved. Not shaken, not rattled, turned slowly from the other side. And for the first time in my life, I heard her speak clearly. No childish tone, no confusion, just calm. She said calmly, "Dad doesn't answer anymore." We didn't open the door. We didn't call the police. We left the house. People ask why it's still empty, why it was never sold. The truth is simple. Some doors aren't meant to be opened because the people behind them were never meant to be locked away. A week later, the new owner called me. He asked why there was a bedroom door in the hallway, but no room behind it.